And I had no intention of buying anything that day when I went to Sephora. Hi there, my name is Lindsay, and this is my channel, The Affable Fox. I am doing yet another video, and this time I'm trying something a little different. I don't recall ever seeing anything like this before on YouTube, or anything at least quite like this on YouTube. Now, of course, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but I thought it was kind of an interesting, different idea. So, you know, if you're out there and you've done a video like this before, you know, please leave it in the comments. I have been known to make impulse purchases sometimes. I think we all have, at least once. And if you're a makeup lover, probably more than once. But, you know, because you're around it, you go to the grocery store, you go to CVS, you go to Walgreens, you go to Walmart, you go to Target, and you're just kind of surrounded by it. And you really aren't sure quite how to stop yourself. And you run into something that you haven't seen before and say, ooh, pretty. So I definitely wanted to sort of speak about the things that I bought on impulse that actually worked out for me. There are many things, and I have a list of items that I bought on impulse that didn't work out for me. So I figured I'd do that in a separate video altogether. You may see some crossover today a little bit, but I'm gonna try and save those for another day. So this video is devoted to products that I purchased on impulse that I actually ended up really liking and purchasing more of after that. So let me go ahead and start with my first product here. So my first product, and this product to me is fantastic. I don't think I found, you know, a better impulse purchase in my collection than this one. And it actually spawned from when I still had an Instagram account. I got rid of my Instagram account a few months ago. But when I was on Instagram, Mario from Makeup by Mario, who I believe was also Kim Kardashian's makeup artist at one point, he was repping this for Laura Mercier. He has several YouTube videos as well as Instagram commercials on this particular product. So I saw it and I was like, that's really pretty. I don't know if it'll look good on me though. Okay. Well, so I ended up in Sephora one day and ended up in Laura Mercier's aisle and saw this on the shelf. And this is the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder in Glow. So this is a riff off of her quite infamous translucent loose setting powder. So this is its glowy cousin. And I, you know, at first I saw it and I was like, well, maybe that'll work for me. And without swatching it, I know, horrible idea, but without swatching it, because actually I don't think that day there was actually an open one out. So without swatching it, I picked it up and I took it to the cash register and I bought it. And I had no intention of buying anything that day when I went to Sephora, but I was just so intrigued by this. And it was the middle of summer, I was a little bit more tan. I thought something like this might really give me a nice glow. So I went ahead and bought it, and I've never looked back. I love this translucent loose setting powder. Now, to be fair, it's called translucent loose setting powder, but it's not translucent. Somebody with a very fair, cool skin tone, this is not going to work on them. It will look dirty, and it will also look very off. It will probably make them look a little on the ill side. And I think probably in the winter, I'm a little afraid that that's what's going to happen with this, and I'm not going to be able to continue wearing it anymore. But I'm crossing my fingers, I will. So this product is actually, like I said, again, it's not translucent. You can kind of see that right there. It's not translucent. It is sort of a peachy color. And it really, I mean, actually, when you look at it in this light, you can see it. I mean, it's not as dark as you'd think, but because of all of the micro glitter in there, and again, you probably can't see this, but I'll try anyway. Because of all there's a large amount of micro glitters, of gold micro glitters, which is again why it won't look good on someone with a very fair, very cool skin tone, because gold is just generally not going to look as good on them as someone with a more olivey, more warm skin tone. It will make you look pallid. And trust me, I've been there. I've worn gold before, and it was a very poor choice on my part because I looked ill when I was wearing it. So this powder though is absolutely divine if you have just a little bit of a tan, or if you're, of a medium skin tone. There actually is a deep version of this as well. I took a look at it in store. It is quite deep and it is very pretty. I would love to see it on a deeper skin tone. Now, the micro glitters are not overly visible. Now, if you get up nose to nose with your mirror, yes, you will see the micro glitter. You will see the little gold micro glitter. Actually, I have it on today. It's all up on my forehead, down my nose, and on my cheeks right here, or on my jawline, I guess you could say right here. And it will definitely show when you're looking flat on in a mirror. You'll see it. Now, if it's just somebody looking at you, even if they're standing relatively close, they're not going to notice it. All they're going to notice is that you look a little on the shiny side. So if you don't like looking shiny, this isn't going to be for you. And if you really don't like glitter, and you will be able to see every speck, this isn't for you either. But for those that like a little glow, that like to look a little shiny, that like to look like they've sort of stepped off a beach a little bit, this is so fantastic for that. I think it just, looking at it on me, it is starting to get a little dark, but I think it just makes me glow. The one problem I find with this, and it's very frustrating, is that I'm very oily skin. And this actually doesn't, this doesn't mattify. It is not a mattifying powder. It does not help mattify. And in fact, I think it actually increases my oil production, because I feel when I use the translucent loose setting powder on my forehead, and my forehead is known culprit for lots and lots of oil, when I use the normal translucent loose setting powder, I don't get this, this does not get as shiny as quickly. But when I use this, it definitely feels like this might have more silicones in it and might end up just pulling out the oil a little more quickly. So that's just one thing to be aware of. And it may not happen with you, but it did happen with me. But I will wear it regardless because I absolutely love it. It is a fantastic product. I will rep it until I have no more of it, and then I probably will buy more. So that is the Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder, and even the packaging is great too. Instead of the normal, I think it's more of like a deep mauve lid. This actually has a almost chrome, dark rose gold mauve top to it, and it's a chrome. It's a really nice component, very sturdy too. It's pretty much like the other one, just a little bit different. So that is the Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder in Glow. My next item, I believe I got this at Target. I went one day to Target and I ended up finding it, and I saw the name on it as well, the color. And it was actually one of my really good friends' name. This is the NYX Pump It Up Lip Plumper. So it's basically a lip gloss with lip plumper in it. And I find this to be very similar to the Buxom Full On Lip Cream, which I have here as well. This Buxom Full On Lip Cream is in White Russian. And this Pump It Up Lip Plumper by NYX is in Elizabeth. So I really do enjoy this gloss. I think it's a really nice gloss. There's nothing hugely special about it. And if you are a little weary of Buxom's Full On Lip Cream and how much it plumps, you're worried about it hurting, this is actually a really good alternative because it looks almost the same, but the plumping action is not nearly as... I personally do not really even feel the plumping action in this. In the Buxom Full On Lip Cream, I feel a little bit, and it takes the lip injection for me to actually, the Too Faced lip injection, to actually feel pretty much all on. But this is very nice and mild. So if you're worried about the Buxom Full On Lip Cream and how much it might hurt your lips, this is a really nice alternative. And I'm gonna swatch this color. I love this color. And actually, interestingly enough, I really do think the formulas here are pretty close to the same. They work the same, they look the same. And actually, I think this one comes in another color that's probably very, very, very similar to this, which I believe is called Pamela. So if you're looking for sort of a maybe not a dupe, but something really, really similar that may look the same, would be the NYX Pump It Up Lip Plumper in Pamela. So I'm gonna go swatch both just so you can see what they both look like. I love this color, I think, and it really adds. I actually am wearing it over top of the one of my lipsticks that I've got on today, and that lipstick is actually one of the ones that I don't really care for, that I bought just on the spur of the moment on impulse, and this kind of has helped it out a little bit. So I have that, and I'm going to put on the Buxom. The Buxom one is going to be hard to see because White Russian is very milky. This one has some real color to it, which on my lips it doesn't really translate all that well, but on someone with maybe lighter lips it would. So put those up there, hopefully you can see them. So that right there with more color is the NYX Pump It Up in Elizabeth, and if hopefully you can see that, that is the Buxom White Russian. You can kind of see, I mean, they've got about the same shine. They've got about the same consistency. Neither are overly sticky, which I love about them. So they're both really good options for you if you like a topper gloss. I don't find the lip cream to be really good on its own, at least not in the White Russian color, just because my lips have so much pigment in it. This starts to look really streaky on me because it's so light. This I can put on and wear nothing else underneath it. And like I said, I am wearing that on top of one of my not so favorite impulse purchases, which is the NYX Lip Lingerie. And this one is in the color Seduction. It's a very pretty color. And I'll get into that in another video, but I really do not like this. So the gloss actually really saved it for me. So definitely would recommend, and if you're looking for something maybe a little, just slightly less jarring on the lips, it would be this. I really, truly think that this is very, very close to the Buxom Full On Lip Cream, and it's definitely less expensive. And I will, of course, put that on the screen like I usually do to say how much this is, and I will also say how much the Buxom Full On Lip Cream is. Much less expensive. So, good option here. So, the next item is the Sephora Pro Airbrush Crease Brush. I really like this brush. I find this brush to be soft, to be a very nice blending brush. I would not use this in the crease alone, and I don't actually. This brush, because you can see, it's not as flexible as a lot of crease brushes you might like. This one's stiff, and it's got this nice kind of almost flat top to it, but it is a really, really, really good blending of the edges of your shadow. So if you need to blend the edges or try and blend, especially if you've got shadows that run right about here, you kind of need to get blended together, or just blend it out. So you want to blend one color from your lid through your crease and up. This actually works really well up here. So when you want to blend it out and get a nice soft gradient so it doesn't look like a harsh line, this is fantastic for that. Really like this brush. I know people don't say the greatest things about Sephora brushes, but I really like this. So definitely a good buy on my part. Definitely an impulse purchase when I walked into Sephora one day. I really need to not walk into Sephora because I seem to walk out with something almost every time. There have been a couple times I haven't, but pretty much almost every time I walk out with something. Same with going online and looking. Either way, so number 31, Pro Airbrush Crease Brush by Sephora. So great for blending edges. Now to get another little item here, and this is actually probably going to be kind of a bit controversial of an item because I think it's gotten some pretty not great reviews on YouTube in general from what I've seen. It's mates, it's other colored mates actually have done pretty well, but this one has not gotten very great reviews from what I've seen. So this is the e.l.f. Mad for Matte eyeshadow palette in Nude Mood. This is a really nice palette. You can see it right there. Let's see if I can do it without blinding anybody. You can see the dark brown right here. When I first colored my hair and I needed something, like something to use in my eyebrows immediately, and this e.l.f. palette just happened to be there, and I saw how dark this color was, and it actually works very well for an eyebrow powder, just saying. But if you have really dark hair like mine and you want to match your eyebrows, that actually works really well. So you can see the colors in here, they're very, very neutral. There's nothing terribly special or different about them, but I really like the gray blue here. I kind of like the mixtures of all of these. Again, people have said that it's an all matte palette. People have said that they're just not impressed, that they don't blend well, that they're not the best shadows in the world. And that's true, they're not. But I've never had an issue with them. I've used them multiple times. I'm not wearing it today. I wasn't prepared enough to do that. But I find that this is actually a really nice set of colors here. And I want it to I just want to give somebody else an opportunity to sort of talk about it, because again, I know it's mostly have not been something that's been well liked. And you'll see some of these colors absolutely do not show up because they're so light. They work great as crease colors, but that's about it. They're actually, you know, decently pigmented for what they are. I'm quite impressed with them. Trying to swatch multiple shadows, I should have been more prepared. So, wow, maybe I can't. Oh, this was not the best choice of how to swatch, but that's what I got. So I'm not the best swatcher. So you can see they're all the way from the lightest to the darkest, and this is the one that I've used on my eyebrow before. You can see that the two lightest don't show up incredibly well, but they do show up there. This one right here, this one right here and this one right here are great just all over lid colors for me. So it works out really well. I find this one's a little bit on the chunky side, you can see, but it's a really nice corner of your eye color. These two are really, actually these four are really great in the crease. Overall, I just really like this palette. I think for the amount that it costs and just for what you get from it, I really like it. I do. I'm sad that, it's not as well universally liked, but I find all the shadows work really well. And so I'm going to keep using it because I like it. And I'm really glad I bought it on impulse. So the final two products are a foundation and another lip product. So you can see I've got four things in my hands here, right here. That's because I ended up buying so many of these after buying one on impulse. I've heard, a couple YouTubers talk about them, nothing rave, but that they like them, that it's, kind of one of their standard go-to matte, comfortable lipsticks. So I went out and I was again in Target. I seem to get in trouble in Target. And I found this one and I thought it was just a really pretty color all around. And this is the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Stockholm. I just love this color. I think it really looks pretty good on me. It looks very pink, and I'm sure you're gonna see that. It looks very pink on, but I have relatively dark lips, so it actually works out really nicely on me. So that is the NYX Soft Lip Cream in Stockholm, which is what started my obsession. I love this formula. It does not dry down 100% matte on me. It doesn't dry and just make my lips absolutely unbearable. It always stays a little bit fluid, and I can always put my lips together and end up spreading the color. It's very comfortable, very nice looking, nice and opaque. I mean, you can see it's very nice and opaque. But I loved this when I got it. I'm so glad I did, because then I went out and bought 4 more colors, because that's what I do. So I bought 4 more colors, and they're all very pretty and they're different. So, and actually one of them I bought after watching Samantha March. She loved this color and spoke about it so highly, and so I thought, I'm gonna try it myself. So these 3 that I just bought, I'm trying to swatch them all out for you so I have them all ready, and it will be right next to the Stockholm that I originally bought. So these are the soft matte lip creams from NYX. So the second one next to Stockholm is Rome. The third is the recommendation from Samantha March, and that is London. And the fourth here is Zurich. So I like each and every one. You can see they're all very different colors. I mean, you've got from a peachy pink to a berry to a sort of more brown toned, yellow toned beige to a pretty kind of pink. These 2 are kind of similar, but not so similar. This one is actually a little bit on the lighter side. So I just love the formula of these. We'll probably end up buying some more. I love the fact that they name them after cities throughout the world. So that also just appeals to me as well. But there's just so many lovely colors. There's so many choices. So not only is it a pleasant feeling lip color, and it's easy to reapply, even though it's, you know, a matte lipstick, it's actually quite easy to reapply over top. It doesn't absolutely kill your lips to try and reapply it, and you don't get a really ugly ring. You can see with this lipstick, I have a bit of a ring, which I personally get a lot just because the way my lips are, and even when I exfoliate, I still just, I can't get it right. But these don't do that. So I love these. Definitely glad I purchased those in the past. The final impulse purchase I actually bought at the drugstore after hearing from a couple of different YouTubers how great this was. I know Raw Beauty Christie is one that swears by this foundation. She loves it, as does Samantha March. And I think for both of them, they're a little bit on the drier side with their skin. So I was a little nervous to get it myself, but I went ahead and just bought it on impulse, as again. So I was also nervous about the color, because if you look, the color actually looks quite dark. Definitely one of the things about this component I don't like is the lid. I love the fact that it has a pump on it, but I hate this lid because it comes off so easily. And if you're not careful and you pick it up by the lid, and it comes right off. So you just have to be really careful with it. And it's a glass bottle, so it's a very nice looking foundation. And it is the Vitalist Healthy Elixir from CoverGirl. And this one is in the shade, I believe it was Ivory. And I look at it and I'm like, really? Ivory? Okay, well, maybe. But it actually worked pretty well on me. So I'm going to do just a tiny bit on my finger and sort of get it right there. Hopefully you can see it. It's a really nice color. Actually, I think for me anyway, hopefully you can see it maybe. Sorry if you can't see it, I'm trying. It actually is blending into my skin a little bit, but it's a little dark, and it does darken as it dries, but I don't think it's oxidization. I think it just gets darker as it dries. So it's actually a really nice tone. I think in the winter it's going to be way too dark for me, but I think it's a good color for me, because it still has a little bit of a rosy undertone to it, and which usually makes me look a little better. Neutral to warm leaning foundations don't always look as good on me. So this one actually works pretty well on me. And I'm not wearing it today, unfortunately again, Poor planning on my part, but I really do like it. I find it, and I have oily skin, as I said earlier, and this actually isn't so terrible. It doesn't, it pretty much breaks up just as quickly as any of my other mattifying foundations, but it does actually look really nice on the skin. It gives you a really nice glow. And if I powder it, it actually stays just fine for quite a while. So I really enjoy the Vitalist Healthy Elixir by CoverGirl. I do think that it's a nice foundation. I think their shade range is quite atrocious. So that is all of the products I have purchased on impulse that have worked really well for me. Technically, it's actually not all of them, but I didn't want to make the video too long. So I chose the ones that for me really are something that I use consistently and I really like, not just things that are, yeah, okay. So I am really excited that you took the time to watch this video. I would definitely love it if you subscribed. And of course you don't have to, but if you would like to, please do. And if you really like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. I would also very much appreciate that. And also feel free to leave a comment. Give me some of the items that you've purchased on impulse that you love, because I would like to figure out if I can find other items to maybe not purchase on impulse, but to add to my collection that you love as well. You never know what's out there. I mean, there's just so much out there. So anything that you want to share, please definitely share that. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. Bye.